Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Unheard. And this is a new Shudder original horror film from the Rasmussen brothers who wrote this film, who wrote John Carpenter's The Ward, and also Crawl. And this is from director Jeffrey A. Brown, who has been on a lot of other projects and such, but this focuses on Chloe, played by Lachlan Watson, who has an experimental procedure done to restore her hearing, and she winds up going out to her house, out in the woods and stuff like that, trying to help out her dad, and she begins to have these auditory hallucinations while becoming paranoid about the house next door and a local boy, and then this turns into a completely different movie. But it's one of those kinds of things over the course of these 2 hours. There's a lot going on. And for the first 2/3 of it, it's an expert ratcheting up of suspense and tension around. She's starting to hear a little bit more. She's starting to hear something odd. She's watching old home videos, and it's using this motif of the graininess on the TV, the white noise, and that becomes bigger and bigger throughout the film and causing some really unnerving moments in this film that are very effective. You have these moments where Chloe's out by herself and trying to figure out what these sounds are at night, hearing these strange noises from the house across the way. And you have all of these different things building up tension. And Watson gives a really strong performance here. She's committed. There's a lot going on here. And it's a very impressive, small-scale thriller horror film for most of it. And you have a couple other characters who come into play. But even Nick Sandow's Hank, who's her dad's friend who keeps checking in on her. Brandon Meyer, who plays Joshua, who's this strange guy. Shinori Ramanathan, who plays the doctor. And there's elements where it's just did something happen? Or was this a hallucination too? And it starts you questioning certain things. And then the third act of the film happens. It becomes a completely different kind of horror film that still has bits of the greater hallucinatory stuff, and at the root of all of that is Chloe trying to connect and find her mother, who had gone and hasn't seen in years and disappeared. Those elements still trickle in a bit, but then it really becomes a completely different film, and it kind of took me out of it because I'm just where'd this come from? And yeah, there's probably hints along the way, but it feels like it just completely shifts narratively, and it's a big ask for the audience after an hour and 30 minutes to just magically be oh, well, here's a different kind of movie altogether. And it works, but it deals with a lot of tropes of this new shift in narrative, and it kind of leaves you a little disappointed that it distracts from what's been building up all the way up to this point. But in the end, I think this has strong performances, has some strong tension and suspense, and still delivers an engaging and impactful horror experience. But those are my thoughts on The Unheard. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.